Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Monday, May 27th, 2024. It is Memorial Day. Remember the reason for the holiday while you're out there slamming beers and pounding drinks and shots. Remember that a lot of people died for us to be able to do this and that. So happy Memorial Day to you and yours, coming from a family with a lot of military in it. They've had a lot of friends and we've had family that just never came home. So keep that in your thoughts. Anyway, back to the action here. We're talking Buckeye football. You know that. So last week, 24/7 Sports released their 2025 five-star recruits, 32 of them. It's to, represent the NFL draft, has 32 picks in it, the first round. So these are the top first-round draft picks, of an NFL draft. That's why they do 32. I don't get the correlation, but that's their thing. Anyways, so we're going to talk about all the five-star recruits that the Buckeyes are in on, and we're going to talk about the commits because a lot of these guys are committed, and it's pretty crazy when you think about it. And I expect to get a few more of these guys out of this top 32. So let's kick it off. Number 2 player in the class, our guy Tavien St. Clair, from just outside Columbus in Bellefontaine, Ohio. The quarterback, number 2 player, Buckeye commit. He's continued to improve over the last year. He's continuously gotten those ratings bumps, and now he finds himself up as a 5-star, a 9900, 6'4", 225. Number 3 quarterback, number 1 player in the state of Ohio, number 16 player overall nationally. So we know Tavien St. Clair, he's got nothing else to prove to us. He's a Buckeye, locked up, no questions asked, no drama. So he completed 70% of his passes last year as a junior, almost 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, only 6 picks, also ran for 352 and 4 touchdowns. He's turned into the lead recruiter for Ohio State in this 25 class, so he's on campus every weekend. The scouts say that he's got a smooth throwing motion and is comfortable on the move. He's got the ideal frame at 6'4", 225. So he's our guy, number 2 in the class. Love it. Next up, David Sanders, number 3 in the class. Number 3, 5-star. He's a tackle, and he's 6'6", 270 out of Providence Day School in Charlotte, North Carolina. I just watched Shallow Hal the other day. That is shot in Charlotte, North Carolina. Like Tony Robbins, and Jack Black grabs his hand. He's like, that's like grabbing a bunch of bananas. Anyways, David Sanders, different person. He's a 9990, number 1 tackle, number 1 player in his state. He's the prototypical left tackle prospect that you want. Sanders was named North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year last season. Right now, he's just finished recovering from a torn labrum that kept him sidelined most of spring. He's a reactionary athlete who can match speed rushers and keep pockets clean. His ceiling is extremely high. He's well over 6'5" and has arms that stretch over 36 inches. Yeah, that's pretty freaking long. He's very nimble for someone with such long limbs. Also plays basketball, of course, which many of the big men do. He's had 3 visits to the Buckeyes so far. He has an official set up for June 21st to the 23rd. The Buckeyes are a real neck-and-neck contender for David Sanders. Do not rule out the Buckeyes, you national honks that might be watching. Do not rule out the Buckeyes in this recruitment. All right, next up, Devin Sanchez, the Buckeye commit. Team Sanchez, as I like to call him. He's number 4 in the class. Plays at Houston North Shore, one of Texas' biggest high school programs. Perennial 6A Division I championship contender every year. And Sanchez's track times, he just lit it up this spring. He had personal bests in both the 100-meter at a 10.69 and the 200-meter, a 21.73. Those are legit numbers. He's a smooth operator with a fluid lower body, and he's over 6'2", which is rare at that height. He's got the rare combination of frame, the length, as I like to call it, fluidity, and sudden athleticism. He's also the product of his parents, 2 former college athletes. So Team Sanchez in the house. We love Team Sanchez. Again, 6'2", 170. Devin comes in at 9.977. Obviously, 5-star, duh. Number 2 player in Texas, number 1 corner. So, love Team Sanchez. Next up, Doran Moore. He is on the Buckeye radar. Buckeyes are into him. He's into the Buckeyes. He's another Texas product. He's the most electric playmaker in this class. He's a burner, another burner. He was the anchor for the record-breaking Duncanville 4x200 relay team at the Texas State meet earlier this month. He might be a little on the smaller side. He's at 5'11", 175, number 1 receiver, number 1 player in Texas, and he's at 9.990. But even though he's on the smaller side a little bit, he plays bigger than his stats. He's a sharp route runner, doesn't need to slow down to change directions, and that creates nonstop chunk plays, like run after the catch. So he's had 2 visits to Ohio State, has an official coming up May 31st to June 2nd, so this weekend. So keep your eyes on him. Next up, Naim Offord, number 6 player in the class. Again, a Buckeye commit, complete corner. He's a complete corner, has height, weight, length, speed, you name it. Offord, another burner, another track guy, state qualifier in both the 200 and 400 meter dashes. He made plays on both sides of the ball during his high school spring game just a couple weeks ago. He has the tools to shut down one side of the field against highest level competition. And Offord might be behind Sanchez in the updated rankings, but there's plenty of debate behind the scenes about who should be CB1. So thank God they're both Buckeyes, and we don't have to freaking worry about it. But yeah, Offord's coming in at 6'1", 185, again, with the length and the height. So he's a 9.977, very close to the perfect prospect out of Birmingham, Alabama. So thank God. Thank God. When you drop to your knees at night, folks, there is a Buckeye God. Anyways, number 7 player in the class is linebacker Jonah Williams. He's a unique prospect because he's got that big frame, kind of a back 7 linebacker, safety, defender, very versatile, similar to an Isaiah Simmons at Clemson. He's been primarily used as a safety and wide receiver at Ball High School in Galveston, Texas. But his size suggests he'd eventually move down to linebacker, kind of like you've seen with Sonny Styles. Start off at safety, get on the field, play a lot, then move down to linebacker as you grow and kind of fill out. So Jonah Williams, he's coming from Galveston, I mentioned, 6'3", 203. He's a 9.949. He does have 2 crystal balls to Oklahoma, but he's the number 1 linebacker in the class. But he's had 1 visit to Ohio State and has an official set up for June 14th to the 16th. I feel this is another one of those cases where watch what the player does, not what they say. So he's showing up, coming to Columbus again, and he's tested off the charts, is good in man-on-man coverage. He's a Texas District Defensive Player of the Year as a junior. Even on offense, he had 20 catches for 474 yards, 8 TDs, had a couple rushes for 144 yards, rushed only 2 times, gained 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he housed him. Anyway, on defense, he recorded 58 tackles, 4 TFLs, 4 picks, 3 pick sixes. for the second consecutive season. 3 pick sixes of the 4 for the second time in 2 years. And then tack on a couple punt returns and a couple kickoff returns for TDs. This guy's got all kinds of freaky talent. Next up, Trey McNutt, the Buckeye legacy. McNutt's a high IQ defensive back that can find the football anywhere on the field. He broke up 12 passes last year at Shaker Heights. Also made an impact at wide receiver. McNutt has tested in the upper percentile. He's a willing participant in run support and quick enough to handle slot coverage. He can be a free safety or a nickel. In 2023, he had 61 tackles, 3 TFLs, 12 PBUs, I mentioned, 2 forced fumbles on defense. And then he had 611 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. Again, coming out of Shaker Heights at 6 foot 180. He's a 9'8", 6'7", number 1 safety in the class. So probably he doesn't have anything scheduled visit-wise for an official. Probably will take that in the fall during the season. So we'll see how badly he wants to be a Buckeye, but you can't rule out the Buckeyes in his recruitment at all. Again, he's a freaking legacy, man, from the state. Next up, Jamie French, number 25 player in the class. He's one of the more well-rounded wide receiver prospects in the class. French wins with his route running and body control. He's not a speedster like the other guys, not a track guy like Doran Moore, but he finds ways to get open and can make adjustments in the air. He brings versatility to the wide receiver room. He could settle in either as an outside or an inside wide receiver, depending on how his body fills out. As a junior, he led his high school with 62 receptions, 1,247 yards, and 14 touchdowns. He's at 6'1", 185, so a little slim, but he's a 9'8", 9'7", number 3 wide receiver in the class. And last up is Malik Autry. He's a D lineman, currently an Auburn commit. He's 6'5.5", 320 out of Alabama. He is 9'3", That's not right. They haven't updated this ranking. Oh, the 24/7 ranking is a 98. So there. He has a rare body type. He really clogs up the run game at his height and weight. He's surprisingly light on his feet at 320 pounds. Primarily used as a 1 and a 3 technique across multiple defensive fronts. He shows the ability to play a variety of positions in multiple schemes. He's a quick twitch. I just made a new word up. Almost said something dirty too. He's a quick twitch, explosive player with a good first step and get off. In the spring game, he defeated double team after double team and was able to constantly penetrate the run lanes and generate negative plays, racking up those TFLs. He might need a development year or two, but he projects as the ideal nose tackle. He finished his junior year with 56 tackles, 9 TFLs, 7 QB hurries. So he's applying that pressure in the pass game as well. 3.5 sacks and a batted down pass. He's visited Ohio State once and is coming back June 21st to the 23rd. So again, he's an Auburn commit. Let's see if we can pull out the spatula and do a little summertime flipper-rooski. How's that sound? Flip them up. Should have worn my Buckeye apron. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Please visit thebuckeyecast.com. Please do some shopping right below this video. If you're listening on podcast, you know what to do. Bust open that browser and go to thebuckeyecast.com. That's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.